Gamer done, bro. What's up? What's up?
Hey, yeah, how's things?
It's good. It's been an interestingly eventful week. Bit of luck. Gosh, finances are uh, getting back in order, I say. But as for this week, yeah, it's a slow news week. But I'm in anticipation for the upcoming bit of news that a lot of us gamers are looking forward to.
Yes, the Switch 2 announcement. Only a week away next week. Um, we're
Mm,
going to be doing straight after it. We're going to watch the announcement, and then we will do straight after. We will have a video talking about our thoughts, what we're excited for, what we think they're trying to allude to, what new game options, and knowing Shigeru Miyamoto, what new game styles, what new game mechanics could we see? A lot of people are interested in the idea of the mouse, using the controller as a mouse. I'm not so sure about that. I
mm,
think,
I think so too.
but admittedly, there are. I'm a big art. I was a big RTS fan growing up. Command and Conquer, StarCraft. Um, but I'm playing them on a controller. Diabolical, absolutely unplayable. Anyone who could, I tip my hat to you, buddy. You're a better man than I, or better person than I. But I don't know, having it, being able to use the controller as a mouse. I don't know. I like that idea, maybe, but I just think it's kind of a niche audience. Niche audience.
Personally, yeah, I don't think so. I mean, I don't. I think maybe that mouse thing has been misinterpreted. I don't. I think maybe you're right about the drifting. The drifting mod is, but what do you do that? The only thing I can think of you can do that mouse is make a throwback to Mario Paint or something, you know. But
Mm,
and I mean, who knows? I think Nintendo wants to have a lot of options because now, I mean, I got a feeling what happened. Looks like from the Switch, no, excuse me, from the Wii to the Wii U to the Switch, even the DS is in between. You're looking at more innovative ways to surprise the audience, and I guess they were kind of cornered to the point where not only did they not have so far from what I can tell that any new ideas, but people are leaking out like crazy for what they're trying to do. So like, I'm thinking that the surprise is going to be something virtual more than physical. It's going to be
mm,
AI. That's got my eye on that AI stuff, and because as you mentioned before, the jump between Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom on the one Switch is quite big. I mean, what can they do going forward? I think the best way to maximize the power of the Switch to make it worthwhile is to AI the hell out of the graphic rendering and so on. If you can get environments drawn through AI to save memory, and just keep running it through, and it looks like the game is it's like a window into another world.
mm.
Then then that would be the surprise. However, Nintendo are the toy company. They're the ones that like to have innovative ways of playing so on, and I love that. So honestly, I'm looking forward to being pleasantly surprised, but I'm also thinking it may just go virtual, you know, in terms of the innovation.
It's interesting. I don't disagree with you, but again, I want to see what they've got cooking. Let's not speculate anymore. We've said many great things about it. We have our own ideas of what could be coming down the pipeline. But right now, we just don't know. So
Yeah.
we're going to take a little sidebar and talk about a few other things going on in video game industry. I think the theme of this video is this week is other industries not understanding games or being willfully ignorant. Um,
Mm,
so we've this morning I dropped, or at least recently it dropped, that Amazon is making a God of War TV show. Ambivalent, see, ambivalent. I am feeling two feelings. I'm excited. I love God of War. I liked playing the first games. I played one, two, and three. I loved the emotional and the narrative change over time because the first one he was angry, he was violent, he was all the games set in Sparta in Greece. He was the ghost of Sparta, the warrior, the god of war, killing and raging, and
yeah.
basically, spoilers, but he basically destroys all of Greece and Mount Olympus, killing nearly everyone. then when they were making a new one, he's not that man anymore. He has grown. The audience has grown. He's big. He's a dad. He's got a beard. He's got all these. He's trying to contain himself. He still has that rage within him, but he needs to be better. He's a father now.
Mm.
And God of War and God of War Ragnarok, which, and honesty, for all transparency, haven't played Ragnarok yet. Played God of War, completed it. I took down all of the Valkyries. Did all the extra side missions, did all the DLC, all the bonuses on the first one. Holy moly, that was hard. But worth it. Very good. But I haven't played Ragnarok yet. I'm really excited. I really want to, but I got to get through Final Fantasy VII Rebirth first.
Aha,
So
so
that's my
such a
priority because I'm more of a JRPG fan. I'm more of a Final Fantasy fan. You know, the moment I got my PS5, I've been trying to play it as often as I could. I got through the Spider-Man games, Miles Morales, Spider-Man 2. I've got through a few Metroidvanias. I've just finished The Last Faith, which really good, really enjoyed, you know, and a great smooth, just like Endless Magnolia, a really smooth platinuming experience. Just play the game, find everything, do everything in the game, and then you get the platinum. Beautiful. Thank you. I appreciate that. Yeah, but God of
sounds
War
good, man.
is a game with pedigree. It's a game with a lot of weight behind the name, and they're making a TV show. Yeah, I'm excited. That is a fantastic environment, and if they're going with the Norse, oh yeah, yeah, lean into that. Lean into this, you know, this warrior that has to become more to be a good parent. But, and holy God, it is a
Mm.
Brazilian ass of a butt. Whew. It's the showrunner announced. In fact, well, I'm just going to show you a quick video. It's a Garrett the gamer. You know, I like him. He's short. He's funny. We're going to watch a quick video, and boom, boom, boom. All right, here we go. Sharing. Boop, here we are. Nice and simple. Garrett the gamer. Check this out.
I'm excited to announce that we've started working on a live-action God of War. Who's we? Amazon Prime. Alright, they've got a pretty good reputation with video game adaptations so far. Who's the showrunner? The showrunner's name is Ronald D. Moore.
I thought he said Ronald McDonald the first time. He was like, Ronald McDonald. Wait, what? No, 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 no. It's Ronald D. Moore. Regular guy. Apparently, he's got a pretty good degree. I went looked him up on IMDb. No, he's got a few things under his belt. It's pretty good.
Has he played the games? No. What? He said he tried to play the games, but couldn't get through them because he's not a gamer. Fourth wall break. Guys, that is literally a direct quote. The showrunner of the God of War show said that he couldn't get through the games because he was, and I quote, not a gamer. You're telling me that the person in charge of bringing one of the most cinematic video games ever created is not a gamer and has not played the game. I don't get it. Why is that a big problem? Redbox, do you care to explain this one? 3 words. Halo TV show. I'm excited.
Yes. And I think that we could talk about this from both sides because do you need
Yeah, for
to be
sure.
versed in an IP before using it in another medium? Should you just be qualified and capable within your own medium, or do you have to be accomplished in both to enjoy it? Do you have to be a gamer to make a TV show? Do you have to be a novelist
Ah, I see.
to write the novel of the movie? You know, do you have to be a movie maker to write the
Wait,
novel of the movie? Do you have to be versed in both
you know,
mediums
mm,
to work in either one? I don't think so. I don't think so. I think I think that Roger D. Moore, he's got names under himself, and he's got a lot of weight behind it. It's Amazon Prime's got money and connections. They have the resources to make great product. They have made some really great products. Their live action remake of One Piece was very successful. It was authentic, it was earnest, honest to the original source material,
mm,
however crazy that is, but it was, it was just good. Just genuinely good. It
mm,
was a good it was a good remake. and they've done other things really well. I'm a huge fan of no, it was Netflix. Sorry, I was thinking about Tresse. No, but they can. I think that they're capable of making a great TV show. What I struggle with is that God of War uh, is so intensely cinematic. The camera angles, the movements, what you're watching is framed like a movie. Many, many times throughout the game, you're not. It feels like you're watching a movie rather than playing, and that's one of its successes. To have someone who has not experienced that, who has not gone through and seen what camera angles were used, what lighting effects were used, how the characters developed through the process of the game. Because a game is not a movie. A movie's an hour and a half, 2 hours, one and done. It's a sprint through the story. You've got
Mm.
not TV shows. They are 12, 24 episodes. And if they're an episode, that's 24 hours. Some of these games are 40 hours long. There's
Yeah,
dialogue, character
it's
development
astounding, isn't it? What's
for
able
an
to accomplish.
extended period of time. We are submersing ourselves within this world. We are exploring every nook and cranny. We are going through these territories again and again and again, constantly updating with new information, with new development.
Mm.
We hit a story beat, and then characters, NPCs we pass through next time have more to talk about. The world is changing around us as we play. So
Yeah,
if
exactly.
he wants to make a
It's not
great game, it feels wrong that he has not experienced the game.
mm.
But am I being biased? Am I showing my biases? Should I check my privilege? I'm a gamer. I've got years and years of gaming under my belt. I'm comfortable with these tropes. And when you throw me a hard game and I can work my way through it, but people
Mm.
who don't play games being thrown if you've never watched a movie before, do you start with The Godfather? It's
Right, absolutely.
it's a hell, that's a hell of a meal. If you're quite peckish, do you go for the three-course meal? Yeah, you
The
know.
thing, I mean, here's the thing. This is a very good discussion. I mean, the first thing you mentioned is yes. I mean, there's a famous tycoon out there who's been famous for not drinking but successfully on the liquor and stuff. But again, that's the brand of the pattern and so on, and their ability to sell quality and so on. So yeah, one thing I know about once Beyonce. One time, I think back in the UK, like years ago, it was 35. I think. Yeah, I am. I forgot. Back, it's been 20 years ago or so. She was doing the movie The Pink Panther.
Mm,
And she was in the UK, in Channel 4, doing an interview. If
mm,
I, if I mention his name, you probably remember, except I don't remember his name. All right, this guy was brilliant. Channel 4. He asked her, he said to her, you know what, Beyonce, I thought you were going to do a remix of the Rinky Panther. And she said, the Rinky Panther? What's that? I said, what? That got me so mad. I was like, see, for me, that just get great, you know? But I'm like,
breaks your
it's like,
heart.
people like,
Breaks your heart.
yeah. And I'm thinking, and to me, like, oh, I was like, no, it doesn't matter. To me, it's like, it shows you, and this is why people think that she acting sucked back then. I mean, I don't know how much it improved, but I'm like, she doesn't care for the craft, even respect of body film she's just finished doing. And she does on chip on it. Actually, I thought it was very sexy, but despite that, I'm saying, damn, somebody parachuted you into that thing. You understand the privilege of that role right there, opportunity to have done justice to even Steve Martin's attempt of Fuso. No, yeah, is his Fuso. That was so that got me going. So to the yes, and this is that I've been curious about looking into people who say they can sell something that they have no ability to. I mean, I've been on the Prince's Trust by other people. Well, which is now the King's Trust, isn't it? But
Yeah.
and yeah, and I was mentored by people who have no experience in what I was into, but it's, hey, it's just a business. I was like, okay, whatever. It's a bit like the Dragons and the Sharks and all these people, they can make businesses work, even though they're no affiliation with it. But when it comes to games, and just like the thing about the IPs you care about, your relationship with it as a creator is cared about by the consumer. So I think we mentioned before, the Sonic movie, of course, and the Mario movie. Well, let's just take the Mario movie, for example. Just like, when these movies are taken up by people say, what the hell is this plumber doing in this album? What's this bother? Scrap that. Let me just do it this way. And people say, "Hmm, what, what are you doing to our beloved franchise?" And it's too bad I put it's too late. The Sonic movie got lucky in that, well, as far as the narrative is concerned, my tinfoil hat stuff was it fan baiting. But anyway, that's just beside the point. When Sonic brought out the first draft of what Sonic the Hedgehog looked like, we got the normal ire from Game Pass. And who I by the way, notorious I always say, first of all, they're notoriously hard to please. They tend to find something wrong with every IP attempt. But when it came to Sonic, it was a very special moment. It's like something shifted the paradigm of adaptation universe. And all of a
You're
sudden,
about Ugly Sonic.
it was loved. I was like, gaming. Oh, sorry, I said that again. Sorry, yeah. The Ugly Sonic, yeah. So it's shifting the paradigm of the universe and the cosmos. Can you believe a gaming movie is loved? And it's because of how they listen to the audience and they changed the design. But first of all, they gave the most important part of the procedure, they gave the audience a chance to weigh in on how they think the movie is going thus far.
I agree with that. I think responding to the audience is
yeah. So
I think
so
yeah, I agree that it was important. Oh, sorry, you go first.
Yeah, and then sorry, yeah, yeah, and then sorry, then we get to the Mario movie. The Mario just were lucky because they got to see the whole Sonic thing play out, so they got to go second, which is they're in a difficult situation now. Nintendo putting up the console first, then Microsoft is certainly going to try and attack and take it better than that. But Nintendo somehow managed to still have lost love. In case of the Switch, the Wii, when the Move came out, the Kinect came out, and the Wii was, even though it was annoying to people that it worked, I think it was still, I think it got there, yeah, having gotten there first did the trick to make it sell more than the other motion control console. But again, unless I need fact checking on that film. But here we are now, the God of War franchise. You know me, people. Ever since I'm a huge fan of Shenmue, and it's my favorite game of all time. No matter, I don't care if they're better games or not, it means something to me. And that's cinematic. Just as he said, games will become more cinematic. Yeah, the visionary Suzuki, he started this whole thing of when you speak to a character, when they say something different, super realistic, and it's like real life. Then now you've got movie like even that Mortal Kombat, when you have like the cutscenes all together put together, they're crazy cinematic. What's going on? And now we have like Red Dead Redemption 2. Some notable pieces I found that are crazy cinematic. And not just cinematic for the sake of, hey, I can put a movie in my game, but the way the game works is based on your relationship with the cinema experience. You have to appreciate that before you go into a project like this. So the man saying he's not a gamer, um, if he's smart, he won't brush off. Like, say, whatever. Some people don't understand that. I can do anything. I can sell anything. I can sell salt to a slug. That kind of stuff. You can't. It's going to be seen as a slight by the audience. The audience are involved in the process. So you can't take it for granted and say, "I'm not a gamer, but I make a TV show." You've got to say, "Tell you what, I'm not a gamer, but I'll try." If he says, "I hate games," then okay, people say, "Okay, you know what?" Yeah. So I think we have to give him a benefit of the doubt, but I think you can't take this for granted. That's my take.
Yeah, I agree with what you're saying. I think that the audience backlash to Ugly Sonic was deserved because it felt like another case where the filmmakers didn't take what we wanted into account. Like it didn't respect the source material, they didn't respect the IP. And why would you make a movie based on an IP if you didn't know that there was already an audience? People liked the IP, so why not? That's the point. But yeah, we've seen a slew of great video game movies come out because they have leaned right into the source material, just giving us exactly what we wanted. And I'm optimistic that this could be a good thing. This could be a great TV show. I'm just frustrated that the creators are openly ignoring a core aspect to it. And it's really hard to engage with a material if you don't engage with the material. You know, if you want to try to say, how do you make something without acknowledging it? But the guy's got some, some chops under his belt. He recently worked on Outlanders, the Norse kind of fighting TV show. Was well received, critically acclaimed. He's worked on. I just brought up his IMDb page. Here we are. Here's his IMDb page. So Ronald D. Moore. Here he is. What has he worked on? Best known for Battlestar Galactica, Star Trek Next Generation, Star Trek Generations, the movie, and Star Trek Deep Space Nine.
Okay.
So he worked on Outlander, which, which famously, let me see the screen. Outlander was a nurse in World War II, mysteriously goes back to Scotland, meets a dashing Highland warrior, goes around. It's like Highland warrior type stuff. Men in Kilts, Helix, 70th Precinct, Caprica, Battlestar Galactica. He's done a lot of kind of sci-fi stuff, but big epic, big character-driven environment. So I think he's got the chops to take an actor and take them through the internal relationship that's going to be Kratos. Kratos is going to be a complicated character. He's got layers to him, layers and layers and layers and layers. And maybe they'll do it well. Maybe they will do it right. But it's frustrating to have the guy in charge of bringing a character to life in another medium just so outly not engage with the visual material. Like, he doesn't ever have to play. I would be happy if once, 5 nights a week after work, goes, sits in a couch with a mate, a few of the writers just sat down and one guy played the game. Like a gamer within their group sat there and went, I'm going to play this game. We're going to watch it together. And then every night they just put an hour or two into it and just over a period, he plays through the entire game and then they're all offering thoughts. They go there, try this, what's that? And then everyone gets to experience it. He doesn't have to play the game himself. He just has to go through the motions of the game. He has to watch the game play out in real time because like great media, like great art, the way you engage with it is almost as paramount as what you're engaging in. Yeah, you watch a painting, look at a painting, but where you're looking at it can influence you. Are you in a museum or are you on a street corner? You listen to a piece of music. Okay, great. Are you listening to it at home quietly? Are you in a busy bar? Are you at a show? I've listened to the same piece of music in 2 different places and had entirely different reactions to it. Like I've been at a concert or I've been lying on my bed, same song, but how I felt was wildly different. So just engage with the material. You don't have to play. You're not a gamer. Okay, fair enough. It's not for everyone. I'm not a golf guy. I'm not going to begrudge anyone who is.
Yeah, exactly.
But if I have to do something, if I have to make a video or talk about golf, I'm going to go out and I'm going to just walk the green with someone. They're going to play and I'm going to walk with them and then we're going to talk and just go. I'll just passively. So I'll have secondhand experience. Just first-hand experience in the location, second-hand experience engaging. But at least I'm trying. I'm making an effort. So maybe it work out. But it's funny you mentioned that Sonic, because the next thing I wanted to talk about, this is exciting. More and more games are being brought to TV, to movies. Yes, as long as they're treated well. We've seen in the past they can go terribly wrong. But we've seen enough successes recently that, I'm confident about this TV show. But that's in spite of itself. My gut is like, this is terrible. This is going to be awful. But my brain is going, let's give it a chance. Let's at least see something. Let's see something first, and then we can make our judgment. But you mentioned Sonic and how the Sonic movie was so influential, so beneficial to helping change the perception of video game movies. And you're absolutely right, because we had audience interaction. The Sonic fandom is a massive, engaged group. People who grew up with Sonic, they never let him go. I'm a Mario fan, but I wouldn't call myself a Mario fan. I'm a Nintendo fan. I'm a fan of the company because I love Mario games. I played all the tentpole Mario games, both 2D and 3D, but I wouldn't call myself a Mario guy. I'm more of a
Yeah.
Zelda guy, to be perfectly honest. I play Samus games. I
Mm.
play Mario Kart, Mario Party. Um, I will play Pikmin. I'm a Nintendo guy. But Sonic fans, man, they are right off and die Sonic. You know, Sonic Team brings out
That
another
is it. I
game.
mean, they took the war to Lion King.
Yeah, they're willing to
Honestly.
fight and die for their guy, and kudos to them. They are an engaging fan base. They produced enormous amounts of material. They kept that character going, no matter how he has changed. But I want to bring a highlight. Recently, there's been a big step forward in emulation. I know emulation is a bit of a dirty topic
Uh-huh.
for some people, but I think it's worth talking about because, in fact, I will bring up a web page. We're going to go through it, and I want to highlight what's happening because this is going on behind the scenes. This is what fans are doing. So forget emulators.
Okay.
Native ports of Xbox 360 games are closer than ever. New tools enable native ports of 360 games with a suite of enhancements. 360's noticeably no Xbox and Xbox 360 games are basically console locked. You can't really play them. It's really hard to find good emulation of them, which means that for preservation purposes, you can't play these games without the machine. They're locked, they're away. And with the Red Ring of Death, how many people had their 360 die on them? But
Right. Dude. Yes, of course.
so emulation has
It's
made huge
not,
steps forward in recent
no,
years. But new static compilation project promises so much more. These result in code that can be run and enhanced on modern hardware, and the latest console to join the party is the 360. Inspired by the N64 recompiling project, which rose to fame last year, it was very exciting. Seeing some N64 games being compiled on PC and emulated, in upscaled, beautiful. It wasn't like, oh, I'm just playing the game. No, we're playing the game with modern standards. A group of developers has created new tools called Xenon Recomp and Xenos Recomp to enable relatively quick ports of 360 games. The first game ported to the tool is Sonic Unleashed, because of course it is. It's Sonic fans working on this,
uh-huh.
which comes with a suite of enhancements via the in-game menu. Basically, they've taken the biggest problem that people have with emulation and compiling games on a PC rather than just a port is that it's coded for the disk. For security purposes, the game is coded into the disk, so you've got to get that data off that disk, and that's hard. Being able to play the game as a direct port means just copying the disk and then having the right security clearance, the right BIOS on your computer. But taking the game and being able to upscale, being able to polish, being able to edit and mod the game means completely breaking the code. And that's difficult. So it appears that what they're doing now is they're finding a way to break that code, turning it into something that's usable. They're not just taking the code and putting it on a PC. They're going PC, the disk, into a new code, and that code into something that the PC can use. But with that means that we have access to do amazing things with it. In fact, there is a release trailer for Sonic Unleashed. This is the compiled version. So this is a upscale PC version of Sonic Unleashed, done using this new technique. Check this. Monitor ability, aspect ratio, resolution, scale, full screen, V-Sync, a whole suite of options. Motion blur, cut.
You must give me the. Yeah, please drop the link for us. Later on. Under the video, if not put the link in. It's crazy.
Ultra wide support. Whoa, right wide. Built-in achievements they've added. New controller icons depending on your controller. Unleashed, recompiled. I freaking love this. I love this because I have mentioned so many times on this channel, I've mentioned that I am a gamer. I think of it as art, and I feel that there needs to be a uniform or at least an accepted way of protecting these games. When a company releases a game, good or bad, it is a part of the tapestry of the gaming landscape. It's part of the language that we use to discuss our passion. And games that are locked onto games that, noticeable, important landmark titles that are kept from the wider form, the wider audience. No. Everything should be in everything. Yeah, I'm perfectly fine with a company having exclusives. They pay for it. They build their own games, their own stories. Fine. For a period. It's got to be like public. It's like public domain. You release a game, you release a product, you make your money, but a few generations later, that product's public domain now. That hits like the main public domain. Everyone gets to play it at this point. You had your time, you made your money, and even now people are coming back to it and going, "Oh, I like this. I will play other games." Oh, it's currently on your title. It's just a way of getting people back onto your title to be interested in your IPs. But it doesn't keep the work that great men and women across the world have put in to make these games, sacrificing a lot, because God only knows how poorly developers are treated, and QR testers and artists and writers, how poorly the people who actually make games are treated. Stuff like this keeps their products alive, keeps them in the market, keeps them out there in the wide west of the internet. They're doing God's work, I swear. And it just means that we had the N64, the kind of retro games, but now Xbox 360 games could be coming to PC in a real, honest, earnest way, like upscaled labors of love made by people who want to play these games, not a cash cow by the company.
Yeah,
I'm happy to share this with the world. Yeah, I'm excited. I'm happy for this to happen. The technology is exciting. It could allow other, more games for more consoles. But more than anything, it means that it's getting better and better. Emulation is getting better. PS2 and PS3 games, Xbox and Xbox 360 games, they are coming to emulators. Emulators you can get. And I'm not suggesting that you pirate. These games. I'm saying you should always have a physical copy. But if you own a physical copy of the game, you should have the right to do whatever the hell you want. And that includes having a digital copy on your PC. That's what I do.
That is it. That's it. I mean, my God. I mean, the only time. I mean, I think we've gone through it. If you go back in the episodes, people, we've speaking about our experiences of being burned with games suddenly making games that we just not available anymore. And it is outrageous. But I recommend people check out DJ Stuff. He's done a video about Super Sega emulator. Well, for the Super Sega, it's a hardware / emulator device standard. And he goes into depth about talking about how ultimately got these emulators that they managed to skirt around the McDonald's law, if you will, the McDonald's by they're not trying to tell people that this is the actual even if they make the hardware, they're not trying to sell you the official product, it's something else. But of course, when you get really, really, really close, then that's when companies start saying maybe you're infringing possibly bringing in, but ultimately the whole thing started up by the game of them when they put people free, people putting things that we ought to have our hands, we should ought to be able to get our hands on by them. Because these are artifacts of history, that we ought to just be able to freely see as you can like going to a museum for goodness sake. In fact, even when he's leaving back for goodness sake, we want to play the thing. So that there looks fantastic. Especially considering what we were talking about last week with Steam, how they possibly could be funneling games onto Microsoft's PC platform through what they and Microsoft taking their hands on so many games this way and setting loose, all these things that are locked away. I mean, look, I understand somebody may want to just earn from something forever. Good on you, but if you're gonna do that, I think you need to still be a part of the iteration process. It's like Mickey Mouse, fair enough, it's public domain, but if Disney makes a new Mickey Mouse something, then that new thing deserves to go into the. If you need to keep it alive, otherwise it's dead.
I'm a huge fan of TMNT, and each version of that iterates on the previous. The first version of the Ninja Turtles didn't have colors; they were all wearing red. Then they introduced color bandanas and kind of more pronounced characterization in the 80s version. Then the 1990s movie was one that introduced Raphael as the hothead. He wasn't even the angry one in the original cartoon. He was the sardonic one. Mikey was the party lover, and Raphael was the one who was like, oh yeah, he was a jokester. But no, after after the movie, they're like, no, the red bandana is the hothead, the emotional one, and then ever since then, he's been the overly emotional one. He's been the hothead, the fighter. Each version iterates on the last, giving new characters, giving new interpretations, and it works. You can see later versions have really improved character dynamics, the depth to their character, because they've experimented with earlier versions. We see it with technology, we see it with music, we see it with characterizations and IPs all the time. We need access to earlier versions if we are to see the progression, see how these events, even events shaping, the products culturally, how they've changed the characters. Again, game preservation, game support. It's a matter of keeping the old games around so we can learn more from them. Right, well, this is only going to be a short one today. We just wanted to touch base on a few things that are going on. There's other TV shows and movies being produced, some exciting stuff coming out. Keep an eye to it. But remember, are they approaching it earnestly? I was a big fan of the Witcher TV show, but that's because Henry Cavill fought the showrunners for more accuracy with the source material. He played the games, he read the books, and the showrunners were like, yeah, we kind of want to go a new thing. He was like, no, this is what the Witcher does. Let's do that. And then eventually when they said no, he was like, see you. Which is why I have high hopes for his work with Warhammer, even though I'm not happy with what's coming out of that. The next video we do will be next month. It'll be April the 2nd, 10, 11 o'clock. We will be there with the Nintendo Direct Switch 2 announcement. We will have all our thoughts splayed out. It's going to be fun on the bun.
Yes, it's all. Yeah, can you hear me now?
Yeah, I can hear you now.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
With that
is something I'm looking. Yeah, basically looking forward to it, man. And I mean, a regular Sunday show will be here, so we'll just put it all into that. Into that. But Game of Done, I've loaded up all your stuff. The game.
Yeah, the last videos of the last videos of Next Fest are coming up soon. It's 35 overall, and I'll see you next time with Switch 2. Peace.